Have you ever been watching Dimension 20 or Critical Role and wondered, how do these DMs come up with such crazy cool encounters, either on the spot or in general? Do you want to know their secret? So do I. I have no idea how they do that. I have my own system, and I am willing to share how I make my encounters if you're willing to listen. So, to break it down, to get started here, an encounter to me really focuses on one of three very key factors. These key factors being the plot, the setting, and the conflict. These three ingredients and a little something nice is the spice that can make your encounters go from being generic, bland, or uninspired to something that feels full, world fitting, and really exciting for your players to play with. So, how do we break this down into something that you can create on the fly or something that you can create ahead of time during your prep so that your players can have something really cool to play with? When we break this down into the plot, when we're thinking of what is the plot of the current encounter, you're going to want to think story beats. Is this something that has to do with your player's backstory? Is this something that has to do with the main story of the campaign? If they've been setting up to fight a big zombie lich boss, why does this matter in regards to that plot? When we're looking at plot, we just need a reason for this to exist at all. If there was no plot, this shouldn't exist. So that's why the plot is critical to your encounters. You don't want random encounters, as easy as they are. You should still pick something that can at least tie into your campaign so it feels like part of your world instead of essentially a DLC that got thrown into a video game after the release, and you can tell it has nothing to do with the actual game itself. On our next topic here, we have the setting. What is the actual location that this is taking place in? Are we on a bridge that crosses over a big canyon? Are we in the throne room of the king's castle? What are we doing here? What is the location that this is all going to transpire? Are we at the top of a mountain? Are we in the middle of a lake with ghost ships around it? What is the scene that we are finding ourselves in? That is what your setting is. Last but not least, we have the conflict. This is the thing that went wrong. Not every single thing that your team or party or players are gonna do is gonna go well. There's always gonna be some type of resistance to meet them in the face, and it's their job and your narrative job to get something in their way and then out of their way. So that is what our conflict is gonna be. Using our previous example here, we have the king's throne room. Let's say that's our setting. Maybe the plot reason, the characters need a favor from the king. He's got a lot of power. Kings usually do. Now, if we ask him, we need your help, maybe the conflict is he doesn't care. He's way too busy for these random no-name noobs to want anything that he would be willing to provide. He's the king. Who the hell are you? So when we consider the conflict, it could be interpersonal, it could be between the players and the king, it could be physical, it could be, oh no, there's a dragon blocking the route. The king literally can't help you. Hands are tied. He's not willing to lose guys to get you to where you're going. So the conflict can be with the characters, it can be something that is grinding against the plot. That is what our conflict is going to be. It's something the players want to overcome. This is critical if you actually want an encounter to feel like it had a purpose. Like, you don't want to just be bashing your head against enemies. We don't even know why we're fighting. You don't want to be getting past the cliff. Why are we climbing this? There needs to be a reason for a conflict. That's where the plot, conflict, and then the setting all combine into one really good, fleshed out encounter. And that's all we want here. We just want to make an encounter that feels like it mattered, an encounter that feels like it belongs, and we are just trying to tie something in to the plot that still is in our way. That's what the encounters are for. Oh my god, he just keeps talking about theory. What do we do? How do we make an encounter? I know that's why you want to watch this video, so let me get to it. Now that we understand what we're working with, when you're building an encounter, it really helps to at least have one of these figured out. If you don't know where you're fighting, what's happening, what the reason is, who is even involved with this situation, how are you going to make it a fully filled out encounter? Now, let's use our starting example here with the King's Throne Room. I know the King's a major character. Usually is. He's an important NPC. Now, if my players are sitting here and I am trying to find a plot reason for the king, maybe the plot is just dude's got a lot of power, a lot of connections. He's a good way to be the quest giver NPC for your party. If you need someone who knows stuff, usually he's got his ear or nose into something that no one else knows about. So let's just put king in here for the plot. He is the guy we need to talk to. Now, the setting, I already figured that out. Very easy for the king to be in his throne room. He's in his castle. That's what kings do. Why would you be anywhere else? You're all barricaded up. No one can bother you. No one can hurt you. You're the king. You're kind of important. Let's say the conflict is the king can't be reached in the throne room. Maybe now we change our setting. The conflict is, where can we get a hold of this guy? Off guard. We're not going to get an audience with the king. He's way too important for us. We're, again, no-name noobs. So maybe we find a way to meet him during a big banquet. Or maybe he's in a parade through the town. We can find our ways to jump into the parade and just get involved. Like, hey, we need your help, buddy. This is why we can help you too. Plead with him. I don't know. The setting is very organic and it's very campaign specific, but the conflict can be any kind of resistance we can run into. That's all we want to do is pick a thing, combine all three things. So if you were sitting here looking at a new example here, let's say we have our conflict. I know I want the players to fight something. We haven't had a combat in 3 days. They're starving. They want blood. How do I get the blood? Now, if I knew I wanted a combat encounter, I would start thinking of, what do I want that conflict to be? What monster do I want them to fight? Do I want them to fight a Hydra? Do I want them to fight a group of mercenaries? What is the context? Then I can start thinking, where would that be? Would highwaymen rob them in the middle of town? Doesn't sound like highwaymen. Highwaymen, should be on the highway. They would ambush them as their carriage is sailing out of town. Now we have that. What's left? I think we need a plot reason. Why do they want your stuff? It should be deeper than you're getting mugged to get mugged. Maybe these highwaymen, normally their day job is robbing people on the highway, but maybe there's a plot reason. Maybe these highwaymen are hired mercenaries this time. They specifically are here to kill your party because someone wants them to. Who is that? You know, I don't. It's not my campaign. So that's just a general flow. You know, you get in there and you just start wondering, how does this connect to that? Why do we care? Where are we? What's going on? Why is it going on? What's the problem? What do I do? It's just these constant questions you can be giving yourself to take an encounter from you're getting stabbed by random guys to, oh, this is way deeper than we thought. I'm kind of stressed out. That's good. That's what we want. We want your players thinking about the world. We want them feeling like they're a part of the world. We want their choices to feel like they matter. We want their locations to feel like they matter. Every little bit of the world should matter to your players because we are trying to make it matter. If it means nothing, why are we playing? There is a very good quote from a random book. I can't quite remember, so I will go dig on that source and I'll put it in here above my face. But there is a quote that roughly goes that tabletop players create a world all their own. It is a world that lacks meaning, but it finds meaning in the meaning they give to it. That's all these games are, guys. These games are made up worlds, but it doesn't mean they don't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're not real to us in a way that matters. So if you can follow these tips, I'm hoping that helps you make encounters that matter and encounters that you care about. So thank you for watching. I am going to be posting more tabletop genre videos in general. So if you like that, feel free to subscribe. I don't care either way, but I would love to have you along, and I'm hoping we can all chat and talk about these hobbies.